relatively in the back. Maybe had a bit of a traffic issue here. Molodon P14. Room for improvement, but Tel Salvador, yes. Guys, we're here. It is time to start. Here we are, everyone. Cacao, Nick van der Meijden, Fibo Bensbergen, Molodon Frutos, Hüswölgi, Aufschneider, Lobkov, Salvador, Biereder, Lynch, Medina, Meyer, Blümke, Mike van der Burgt, Aditya Surve, and Melnichenko. There it is. And here we go. First round. Green flag. And we're out for it. We have a side-by-side already. Almost a 3 wide there. Blümke Meyer. 41. Do we see a crash? I don't think we see a... We almost see a crash. Salvador. Barely making it through there. We see a lot of things happening there. Aufschneider in the back in P14. I think got thrown a bit back. Frutos side by side with Hüswölgi. For P9 in the front, nothing has changed. Aditya Surve in P2 still. Melnichenko running away with it. Half a second out already. Who do we have? Let's go to Binsbergen versus Nick van der Meijden. Both Dutch drivers fighting against each other. Dani Binsbergen. P14 currently, going for P13. Putting the cars side by side now. Nick has the inside. LGI Racing. Binsbergen has the next inside. A bit of bumping. Elbows out here on Croft today. Nick has to, unfortunately, step out of that. Aditya with the first fastest lap. But on the first lap, that really doesn't mean much just yet. Consistency is key. Let's go for Mike van der Burgt. Starting on 3rd place, currently in P5, fighting with Meyer for Cannonball team, and Blümke right there in the front in P3, which is Friday Night Race Club, also an organizer. Berg Racing actually as an organizer in, as you might, I don't know if you remember, but Berg Racing is an organizer on WSS as well. They didn't organize much and not for a long time, but they did at some point. And here we are. Mike actively fighting with Meyer for it. Who's also close, almost side by side there, is Lobkov for P10. In P11 now. Against Hüswölgi for Dead End. Hüswölgi and Fibo are a team. That is P10 and P17 currently. Lobkov fighting for P10. His teammate Aditya Surve in P2. Since this is a 45-minute race, we will definitely see some strategies and some pit stops. Who will stay out and maybe run the tires into the ground. Oh, Dani Binsbergen going way over. Basically cutting there, but he lost much more time than for what it's worth. And it might have counted as a cut anyway. Dani Binsbergen for Berg Racing in P13. Next active fight, let's go into the front. That is still Mike versus Meyer. Blümke is getting closer to Aditya Surve. Melnichenko, Team Shitsukor, is running away with it. Almost 2 seconds out now. And there's the move. Meyer almost losing it and gets a tap now. Gets a tap now. Catches the car. He does not catch the car, indeed. Holding the brakes. Holding the brakes. Hopefully he does. Mike goes through. That was a little bit of a tap that will be investigated later by the stewards. Go into the next fight. Mike has P4 now. Bieda 457 Racing Team actively fighting with Lynch from Friday Night Race Club. Bieda and Aufschneider, very good result yesterday on the Open Series. I think they came in P6 and P7. Bieda fairly high before something went wrong. Lynch as well, always up there. Lynch always up there. On top. Salvador pitting early. For maybe a change of tires. Maybe refueling. I don't know. Maybe had still the quali tires on. Maybe still the quali fuel. Who knows? Lynch closing in on Medina. Medina for Team Exa Ferrari Challenge. Exa Ferrari Challenge is Victor Medina and Alex Frutos. Frutos is definitely getting a bit better of a race now in P8 currently, catching up with Bieda in front of him in P7. Lynch closing in for P5 here. For 5th place. Going a bit wide. Diving into the slipstream. Lynch might make an overtake here soon. Thank you very much, Dodaka. Going there. Definitely closing in. Victor is under attack now. Victor Medina. The pressure is definitely on. 40 minutes left to race. And Lynch is closing in on the Exa driver. Behind Lynch is Bieda 457 Racing Team, P7 currently. Going for another. Every point will matter in this championship. Team championship and drivers championship. You want to at least finish in the top 10 if possible. After penalties, that might still change. And Bieda takes a bit of a lunge there, but misses his window and loses 2.5 seconds to the front runner, Lynch, and now has to fear that Frutos is making a move on the German driver here. But Frutos is actually getting driven into by Fusvölgi. And Fusvölgi diving. Going for the hairpin there. Getting that place back is Frutos. Battle for P8. A beauty of a battle. Frutos closing the gap there very, very slowly. Frutos going over. Cutting the chicane, basically. Aufschneider behind there in the mix as well. He sees that battle in front of him and thinks, I want a piece of that. I might gain 2 places. If those 2 drivers hit each other in the process, I might sweep through. I might get something gifted to me. Aufschneider very quick here, also on the exit. Is now making the move on Frutos. Frutos pinches a bit. Doesn't give Aufschneider much space there. Frutos going on the line there. Still has the upper hand. But it's an active fight for P9 at the moment. Look how close they are. 4 tenths away. And with them fighting, that also gives the P11 driver, Dani Binsbergen for Berg Racing, the chance to get closer and maybe make a move very, very soon on Aufschneider. Who knows? There we go. There we go. There we go. I think it has settled down a bit more. But Aufschneider definitely wants more. P10 is 1 point, and that won't be enough. That is not enough for him. The previous winner of Mufflers. 20.8, that is true. I'm not sure where he's gaining so much, but on quali he was running through the poles. We will have to see afterwards if that is actually the case. Mike Vandenberg, by the way, with a 20.9 as well. So definitely in the mix. Gaining everywhere, he says. Well, we definitely have to look, because I did mention in the Discord that driving through the poles on T1 is definitely not allowed. Like that, for example. We'll take a look at it later. We're not doing live stewarding and active penalizing. Mike Vonderburg very close to Lars Blümke now. And Mike is getting quick, with the best lap being a sub 21 as well. So there is a potential third place in here. Aditya is keeping it cool in P2 currently. There you see him in front there. The only Aditya Surve livery that you see that is 100% genuine today and not a mix-up. If my eyes did not deceive me, then we actually have a driver that is on the SS tire. No, SM tire. Nick von der Meide is actually on the SM tires to everybody's... Oh, well, it is curious because everybody is driving the normal slicks. That tire change might actually do something. We'll see if Nick can make any gains on that. No. The no. Viremievich, that is not true. We defined rules before the race. That is not the case. We did establish rules right before the race started. And that was in the Discord channel, so this is not an RP thing. We made sure of that. Alright, let's get back into it. Why is the map there? Should not be there. Aditya 5 seconds out now. Lars Blümke closing in on Mike Vonderburg, who did make the move into P3 though. Who is very close now and is probably doing the overtake anytime soon. And as you see, those are multiple battles here on the grid. Aufschneider losing it. That is normal, Yodaka. It has every logo. It has all the organizers' logos. It switches through after a few minutes. Nick von der Meide in the pit, so the tire option was probably not the best. Side by side with Binsbergen. Side by side with Binsbergen. Aufschneider still has it. I think the minimum is 3 minutes that you can put in, Yodaka. That was a reasonable time before the race. We did mention it on the stream, and that was before the race. I don't feel this is unreasonable, what I'm asking here, Viremievich. Well, yeah. right. Blümke closing in. Not closing in anymore. Gotta be real about that. Lynch and Medina is still open for consideration here. Lobkov at the moment in the fight with Sajenko. Let's jump to that. Well, yeah, because on the WSS official series, when Croft was raced, that's MX5, right? So nobody is probably putting out a report, right? For that. Maybe there are people who put in a report, but I don't see it happening that much. I'll be sure to make myself known about issues like that now a week in advance for the future. And if that is still a problem, then we will have this discussion again anyway. So, you know. All right. Look of Sajenko. Sajenko touches the grass. Lobkov definitely closing in now. Overtake might happen. We could do that. Yes. That is the idea. If something like that is spotted early, then yes. In that case, I'm not sure this is beneficial for you personally, for that case. Again, I'll have the rules out a week before, and then we'll see. I still think the base problem will exist, that people will not have seen it, and this will be a problem down the line. I know it. All right, 28 minutes left. Let's jump to Blümke, who is closing in on Mike Vonderburgt again for P3. Currently. Not a very good day for LGI Racing. I'm not sure. Salvador did drive yesterday, so definitely had an idea on the sprint, but might have ran a different kind of fuel amount. Nick Fonda might have on the wrong tire, unfortunately. But that might have also been a gamble. Okay, well, this is still going on. There are some maps where I think you would differ from that opinion. I believe, Vedemievich. Like Vintage Sebring, for example. Track is completely broken. If that would have been picked, there is some wild cuts you can take there. I do understand your point. Oh, we have something happening. Schneider goes through and switches with Bieda. They are both teammates, so you might actually make a case there that they just switch places. Hello, Augusto. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? How you doing? Mike makes his first pit stop. Blümke keeps on running. Not on strategy yet. Well, yeah, but every track can be slightly broken. And for you to find it and then say, well, the track limits don't say anything, and you train it in private and not tell anybody about it, there should be a clear indicator, I feel, a clear boundary of what is and what isn't allowed. And yeah, as Ace says, I don't think we're asking too much by setting a quick boundary and saying, okay, maybe don't drive through the poles on T1 and T2. Yes, granted, I made that note a bit too late, but if I do it next time, then there shouldn't be any argument left. We had that problem yesterday on the Open Series, but everybody kind of understood each other. I'm done. My engine got destroyed. You didn't normally pit. You can still go out, Mike. This is not a... Right? Oh, no. Destroyed? Ace, what did we say in that moment? Should we take a look at it later, Mike? That's up to you. If you want to drive it to the end, Mike, feel free to. I don't care that much. Of course, you lose some, but you don't have to take a DNF with you at home. I mean, we also kind of established that teleporting in quali and that sort of stuff is okay. I'm a bit more lenient here than what we have usually put up in terms of the series, but it's unfortunate. But I am pretty much set on the point of the damage. I know that people hate it, but I also feel it kind of teaches you that if you do crash into something, this could mean that your engine gets destroyed. And you potentially lose a full lap. I'm not against it. I understand people that say, you know, I don't like it that way. I mean, of course, like a fun series, if you say it like that, Verimage, I always want people to have fun on the series. But it's also like a series with, like, we potentially, I'm still a bit unsure about prices and stuff like that, if I should bring it back. I know you said kind of fun rate. I mean, I always want people to have fun, but since this is a team-based championship, I also want, like, a minimum of we take this a bit serious, and it's a bit outside of what open or verified organizers do on WSS when driving, and that's why I kind of want to pull together all organizers and that we understand each other in the sense of, okay, we're doing a bit of gentleman's driving here. We kind of agreed to a few very lenient set of rules, and that's okay. I specifically did not want to release, like, a big rule book with, like, five-sided PDF that basically tells you everything. I'm always up for a discussion. But the T1 thing, I kind of understand. All right, active battle, P6. And actually outbreaking it, Bieda. Breaking late, going over Lynch, going through for P5. Beautiful move. Beautiful move. Might have scared him there a bit. Let me check what WSS rules say real quick. Yeah, sure. If my basic idea was we adhere to the usual WSS code of conduct. And everything above that, just don't be a dick. Respect to the other drivers. And that's it. All right, we have the first few pit stops behind us. And Bieda currently in P6. Let's go through the teams real quick. So we have Melnichenko in P1 currently. Coming up to Molodan, that is Traffic. This is Shitsukor Racing Team 1. Blümke for Friday Night Race Club. Aditya Surve for TLDR. Husvölgi for Dead End. Lynch for Friday Night Race Club, which means Friday Night Race Club at the moment are bringing home a lot of points. Hello, Salvador. Are you in the pits or did you disconnect? What was happening, Salvador? Tell me everything about it. Bieda, 6th place at the moment for Team 457 Racing Team. Nah, I gave up. That is unfortunate. Yesterday's race was so good. Yesterday's Open Series. Loved seeing you there. By the way, thanks for driving it yesterday. A bit unfortunate. We had an active battle, but that is Traffic, actually. Mike is unlapping himself. Bieda, a bit of an issue there. Nick von der Meide also retiring his Ferrari. That is unfortunate. But also, maybe, I'm not sure. Nick, maybe you can tell me in the chat. Did you gamble? Engine doesn't start? You could have teleported and got out again. Unless it didn't start in the pits. Was your tire choice a gamble or by mistake? Next shot is for your good health? Na starovje then. Na starovje. No point and gamble. I know of a certain Italian that gambled in my first ever hosted race as well with the tire selection. And he regretted it. But I'm always up for a good gamble. If it would have worked, that would have been good. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just... P10, Cajiao getting a drive-through for cutting. That is Nitro Knight. Bieda for 457 Racing Team in P6 currently. P7, Victor Medina for Team Exa Ferrari Challenge. Dani Binsbergen, Berg Racing, still kicking. P9 is Frutos, actively under attack. Team Exa Ferrari Challenge, by the way. Frutos, the owner of Team Exa, as far as I know. Aufschneider in P10 for 1 point now, actively fighting against Sergenko, who is from Shitsukor Team 2. And now we're reading. Now we're reading really quick. Incident on turn 1. I had nothing to do. Broke my suspension. Well, that's not good. Made my rear tire overheat. Crashed because of the overheating. Already a lap down because of all that. And then I just drove a bit risky and crashed again. So there wasn't much more to... Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. There is an idea in this racing series that I wanted to do it back then when we started TWS as well, but I kind of was overruled. So I really wanted a series where damage means a bit more, where you can't, like, you can recover from small sort of rubbing. That's completely, if that happens, it happens. It shouldn't destroy the engine. Ausschneider Frutos. We will talk about this later. Always look at the race time for later review. Ausschneider losing a lot of places because of that touch there. Ausschneider Frutos colliding. I understand the goal of the 200 damage, yes. It's completely fine to rub a bit of elbows. It's completely fine to have a bit of racing. That's, I mean, I completely understand. But if you hit the wall with 200, there should be a sort of, there should be some sort of damage. That it immediately kills the engine, I didn't know either, but I kind of like it. Not really against it, but it didn't play in my favor turn 1. That is true. That is indeed true. It did not play in your favor. Okay, a very, very close blob of cars is here from from P8 to P11. And that is Molodan. Shitsukor 2. Lobkov TLDR right in front. Frutos and Sergenko fighting for P8. Frutos with the nose in front. Can he make that move? And Lobkov is also not done there. Lobkov Molodan is going down. And Melnichenko is right there in the traffic. This is an active battle between a lot of cars, and Melnichenko has to find a way through there now. Shitsukor in P1 now, but losing a lot of time here in the traffic. We have 13.5 minutes left in this race. In the first race of the Ferrari F-Series. And we learn as we go. And we'll adjust the general rule set later on. That is a lot of traffic, and that is a blue flag. Again, it's much of the blue flag conduct, the basic idea of it. It's not that you have to completely throttle down, but it's stay predictable, let the lapping car overtake, and don't fight it. Like, reminds me of the... It is funny because Melnichenko on the Discord, the guy that we're watching right now, is named Sebastian Vettel, has the Sebastian Vettel profile pic on WSS and on Discord. Oh, we have a bit of a... Okay, we have a bit of a... a bit of bumping there, a bit of a boots battle, I would say. Let's hope that that is not leading to issues down the line. Damaged engine would be a very, very sad story for P1. Blümke is actually catching up slowly. But let's go a bit closer into the battle here for P10. Ausschneider is catching up as well because, you know, everything is kind of piling around Lobkov, Molodan, Sergenko. Frutos has broken off, actually, is in P8 currently for Team Exa Ferrari Challenge. Behind Ausschneider, they're fighting as well. That is Meyer for Team Cannonball and Fusvölgi for Dead End. More TV cam? Sure. I don't particularly like every TV cam here on the track. Sometimes it doesn't show much. But yeah, this is a blob of cars. And there is definitely some... Wait, I thought we started... The time did not change, Colts. I didn't even You can still drive it to the end, but Hicks, we have the date did not change. I'm an hour behind. That might be a summertime thing. But technically that was adjusted if you saved it. Are we enforcing blue flag? Not enforcing? We will if needed, yes. If this is an issue, we won't do it live. I can tell you that. But if it is an issue down the line, after the race, this might have consequences. This looks beautiful. I agree. I agree. Ausschneider Meyer for P11. This is the closest battle on the grid so far. I slammed the brakes to let Melnichenko pass and lost 4 seconds. I feel like, yeah, you don't have to do it that heavily. Just handle it like you're getting, yeah, no need to do that. Just, exactly, just don't fight it. If Melnichenko makes the overtake attempt, you just let him pass and you basically link in just there. So a bit like IndyCar, but not to... Yeah, exactly. Just be predictable. Let the overtake happen. Not like F1. Stick to the racing line and let him make the move, yeah. Now you know it for the next time. 9 minutes left, everyone. And we are seeing still very, very close racing. Melnichenko is still trapped behind all of the drivers, and Blümke is actually catching up. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but from 20 seconds before, Lars Blümke in P2 is actually catching up with Melnichenko and might be able to make the move at some point if this goes on for much longer, and Melnichenko may actually, like, if somebody is not predictable and something happens. Aufschneider, what a move! What a move! That is, leaves Sajenko and Meyer fighting with each other. But Aufschneider sweep through into P10 at the moment. Hicks is on the track now. Again, I'm sorry for the time issue. Yet now, after the summertime change in March, it should not be a problem up until October, I guess. Meyer making the move. Sajenko staying on the inside there. Side by side, we're getting pinched a bit there. Meyer tries, but there was no way to do a switchback on that end. Melnichenko still. Frutos with a problem. P10, P11, P12, and Melnichenko. That is a blue flag. Better let him through. Somebody went off. Big time. That was Sajenko. Holy smokes. Did you see that? What happened here? Oh. Meyer and Sajenko. Yeah, Meyer closing. Well, yeah. Alright. Back into the game. Back into the game, guys. People are still fighting. Let's go for Lobkov versus Friesvölgi. Team Dead End versus TLDR. Lobkov inching closer and closer for... No, Friesvölgi inching closer and closer for P10. Blümke actually made more seconds even. Actually, something might have happened to Melnichenko. He lost a bunch of time just now. Last lap, 23. We have to take a look at this. What is going on here? Maybe CMRT is bugging a bit. Yeah, CMRT has a... okay, CMRT is the issue. Then let's get back to the battle, to the actual battle at hand. That is Fibo and Mike Vonderburg switching places. Fusvölgi and Lobkov still fighting actively. And behind you see another car. That should be Donny Benspan, right? No, that is Sajenko. Sorry. No, this is Frutos. Frutos 1.5 seconds behind. Catching up. Let's go back to that battle. From the last few times. Actually, let's take a look at it. Last 4 laps. Lobkov has been a bit slower, which led to Fusvölgi getting closer and closer. Catching up. Going over there on the grass. Fusvölgi has to look out that he doesn't get a drive-through. As we had one today, which was Kakiao for Team Nitro Knights. Binsbergen and P7 also closing up to Beer Eder 457 Racing Team. Point 3. That battle is happening. Definitely happening. They're very close. Fusvölgi goes wider there. On the entrance, almost sets the cars side by side, but we're not yet. We're not yet. We're almost, but we're not. Going into T1. Into T2. Mind-blowing racing that we have seen here today. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. And I have to say, I am pleasantly surprised by how close the fights are. I hope the cars feel as good as it looks like. But so far we have gotten so much positive feedback about the car that I believe most of the people like the car. I don't think there is any there is a big problem with the car. Car feels pretty good, to be honest. I like it. Yeah, thank you, Salvador Emanuel. That was weird. I hope that we get more people in the Open Series so that maybe there's gathered more interest and more people actually jump in overall as teams in this series. Car has to be used more. Now we're trying. Last 2 minutes. Battle is still on, but Fusvölgi and Lobkov are way closer to each other. And it might happen on that end. And it has little setup adjustments, so it makes competition closer. It was already up there with the default setup. There you go, there you go. Yeah, well, I kind of hope that the tires would give more... would bring more strategy out. But it kind of didn't. It's just a matter of if you go to the pit or how long you can drag it out before you go to the pit. I kind of hope that the tires could be valid options for the big race, but I believe Nick showed today that that is not the case. The only other idea was the SM tire, because it is a bit slower, but it might last the full race. But it might be too slow to drive that pit stop out. All right, guys. Here we are, last minute. Let's look at Team Shitsukor. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. That was not good. Please let him be still on the grid.
Okay, final lap. Keep it cool.
Oh no. Let's hope that's not the case, but even if in the last minutes as well, that sucks. I agree. And Melnichenko had races like this, the 1 hour races from Nitro Nights, where this happened as well. And right at the moment when I panned the cam to him. But for now, this is going to be it. Those are the last few seconds. And here is the winner for now. For now, at least. Lars Blümke wins on Croft Race 1 down. Blümke was very, very high up with his qualifying position. And I hope that was not a way too big issue. But I have a feeling that Melnichenko might not rejoin to the server in the way we hope. That is really unfortunate, and I sincerely I feel very, very, very bad seeing this. That is not cool. All right. Nick, what are your rules for back markers? I see the message, but yeah. Congrats on Blümke. Yeah, we kind of have to. We're a bit in the mix right now because Melnichenko got disconnected on the last lap. Congrats to Blümke for winning.